Ryan Yamamoto. This is the Minute. Oakland school leaders are meeting today to discuss merging 10 schools to cut costs. This is because of a $95 million budget shortfall for the school district, partially due to low enrollment. Final vote is expected next month. In San Francisco, police are investigating a homicide just outside the Embarcadero BART station. It happened in Market in Maine just before 6 a.m. So far, no arrests. The search for the suspect caused delays on BART and Muni during the morning commute. Stanford graduate workers are no longer planning to walk off the job today. The union says it reached a tentative agreement with the university. Those grad students have been pushing for better pay and worker protections. The details of the deal should be released today. The Bay Area's only primetime newscast at 8 and 9 p.m. on PIX Plus 44 Cable 12. I'm Ryan Yamamoto. This is The Minute.
Hold on tight to that umbrella. You'll definitely want it as we head into this afternoon. Daytime highs still are nice and cool for us today, but we have these spotty showers widespread throughout the Bay Area that we're gearing up for not only today, but tomorrow too. Lingering showers are going to last into our Thursday forecast. We dry up just in time for Friday and Saturday, and then we'll get another splash of showers heading into Sunday. I'll show you that in just a second. We have upper 60s in the forecast today down into the Santa Clara Valley. And for our friends down into the Santa Clara Valley, the rain's not going to be nearly as impressive as some of our friends up into the North Bay near wine country. The reason why I say that is because this rain system's coming in from the north, so more consistent showers are expected for us starting around lunchtime up throughout Santa Rosa, Napa, all the way over into the Marin Headlands too. By 3 o'clock, we start to see widespread scattered showers in the forecast down along our coast, off into the Santa Clara Valley, and we'll continue to watch that sweep to the south into the overnight hours tonight with lingering scattered showers into the forecast into early morning hours tomorrow. Now, the numbers aren't that impressive. When we take a look at what we can expect, it's close to around 1/4 of an inch all the way up into the North Bay if you average those numbers out. But down into the Santa Clara Valley, I mean, we're talking close to around 1/100 of an inch of rain, anywhere from the Santa Clara region all the way up along the peninsula, close to San Francisco too. So let's take a look at the next 7 days real fast, because we are drying up as we head into Friday and Saturday to kick off the weekend, just to see more showers on the back end heading into Sunday. By Monday and Tuesday of next week, we dry up once again. So really, this unsettled weather pattern for us is sticking around all week long. But one thing that is consistent, it's our temperatures. I mean, take a look at this. We're pretty much in the low 60s in our inland areas and along the coast all week long, heading into early next week too.
Well, San Francisco has launched a new campaign raising awareness about drug treatment and recovery services. It's called the Living Proof Campaign. It features 9 San Franciscans who have overcome addiction with the help of treatment and recovery programs. They are sharing their stories, saying they are living proof those resources do indeed work.
We had our daughter, and that's when our recovery journey started. Because of our addiction, we didn't know that I was pregnant until I was having our daughter, Paloma, and we knew instantly that our lives had to change for her sake.
The ads will appear on billboards and bus shelters. The Department of Health says overdose deaths are actually down 20% compared to this time last year. And here's a look at the numbers. In 2023, there were 810 overdose deaths in San Francisco, but the city is on track to see a 14% drop year over year. And community advocates say that drop is partially due to new tools like a unique take-home treatment. Our Suji Nam explains.
Quincy Gillum, who goes by Q, is passionate about helping those who may be struggling with substance abuse. As a treatment center director at Bart Market Street Clinic,
Bart Market, where change begins, Q speaking.
He makes sure people who are underserved or are homeless get the help that they need.
So, dose goes in.
And it all starts with Sonara Health's at-home methadone treatment.
You're going to show the camera. Once you show the camera, which you'll normally people have it, they'll show the camera. And then basically once they show that their dose is there, they will then again take dose, put it back in front of the camera, and then basically they'll show that their dose is done, and they're confirming with the app their face also.
Clients in this program take home up to 27 of these bottles, each containing 100 milligrams of methadone in these locked bags.
Goes into the bag.
Officials say having programs like Sonara is what contributed to the 37% decrease in overdose deaths nationwide.
It actually mimics for the individual that high that they're actually getting.
The clinic offers this synthetic opioid as an alternative to fentanyl in hopes that users wean off of it and opioid use entirely. The bottles are sealed, labeled in order of use at home, cutting the time it takes for someone to go to a clinic for treatment. Q says this process holds clients accountable in wanting to make positive changes in their lives.
He admitted, he said, I used to sell my methadone. He said, but now that you guys are giving me take-homes, he said, and I have the ability to do it over the phone, he said, it gives me accountability. Like, I know you guys are checking.
Sonara Health CEO Dr. Michael Giles says 7 clinics in California are participating in his program.
The goal for us is not to monitor patients without any real need. Once that trust has been established between the patient and provider, patient kind of weans off of Sonara and they have fully unmonitored doses.
Sure, I can do that.
And back here on Market Street, Q says it's all about transforming the clients' lives from treatment to recovery, using tools just like this.
Every day we use these phones, so why not make them a part of the collaborative in the treatment process?
Q is pushing for more innovative resources like these to help even more people in need.
And meanwhile, Alameda County is preparing to launch its own version of Care Court. That is a program designed to steer people with severe mental illness into treatment. The rollout is set for December 2nd. Family members, healthcare providers, and first responders can petition for a person to be considered for Care Court. You can learn more about that program during a Zoom meeting tonight. It starts at 6 p.m. You can find a link at the Alameda County Behavioral Health website. And you may remember San Francisco was one of 7 counties in the state to launch Care Court last year as part of Governor Newsom's effort to tackle mental health issues. And a new report now raising questions about leadership in San Mateo County's Sheriff's Department. The Board of Supervisors will meet today after calling for Sheriff Christina Corpus to resign following an independent investigation. The 400-page report by former Judge LaDoris Cordell was sparked by complaints from staff. It accuses the sheriff of abuse of power, intimidation, and retaliation. It also claims she had a personal relationship with her chief of staff and used racial and homophobic slurs. 2 supervisors say they have lost faith in the sheriff.
It's clear that we have a sheriff that we cannot trust.
There are numerous allegations within this report that, frankly, there's no better word to describe than shocking and reprehensible.
Well, Sheriff Corpus is pushing back. She denies the allegations, calling the report biased and politically motivated.
No one will call me a racist or a homophobe. These are people who have a vendetta against me. I am disgusted at how low these people will go.
And county supervisors will hold a special meeting this afternoon. The board is expected to decide whether they should call for Sheriff Corpus to immediately resign. That investigation comes as the president of the San Mateo County Deputy Sheriff's Association has been arrested on felony grand theft charges. Deputy Carlos Tapia is one of those deputies who criticized the sheriff and her office. We heard from him in the hours after he surrendered to police.
I will continue to faithfully and represent the interests of our union members, and I look forward to the district attorney's review of this investigation, and I'm confident I will be vindicated.
The San Mateo District Attorney told KPIX Tapia is accused of time card fraud. The department says Tapia has been placed on administrative leave. Well, community living in fear, some even planning to move because of a rash of gun violence over the past 3 months. This all centers around the city of Antioch. On Sunday, a 23-year-old man was injured during a shooting. That street covered by evidence markers in the wake of that investigation. Much of the violence is centered around the area of the Sycamore Square Shopping Center. That's where Wilson Walker met up with the new mayor-elect, where the community was eager to hear how he would turn things around.
What you gonna do different that the other mayor, couldn't get it together and do in our community?
Well, the first thing we need to do is get a permanent chief, and a good one that understands community policing, is going to establish relationships and build trust with this community here.
Antioch Mayor-elect Ron Bernal came to the Sycamore Square Shopping Center to talk to us. But it was clear as soon as he got out of his car that plenty of people wanted to talk to him.
With all the violence, everybody, I'm about to move in January.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, so we need, you know, to make our neighborhood safe.
Yeah.
We got children, you know.
Absolutely.
They want to ride the bike, walk the dogs, you know.
Well, we need to get the HOA back involved.
Yeah.
And so they're, you know, they've taken off, so we don't have stuff for the kids to do.
This parking lot and the adjoining Sycamore neighborhood have seen 4 shootings in the past 7 days, many more in recent months. It is the epicenter of violence in Antioch. And Bernal says that as the police department staffs up with some 40 incoming officers, this area must be a priority and around the clock.
And every morning when we wake up, we need to ask ourselves, how's Sycamore Square, how's the Sycamore neighborhood doing?
Yeah, we need an unsung hero right now. We need a hero up in here. Like
Jelani Stewart says the family business is suffering.
Yeah, I got bullet holes right here. I got a bullet hole up there. I just got this window and this window fixed. I got a bullet hole right here. The security sign ain't covering it up. Like, I mean, we scared down. We ain't scared down here, but man, it's getting crazy to where it's that people don't even want to come down here to shop.
But he says he is determined to stay, and while he supports a greater focus by the police, he is among those with another request.
First and foremost, we need stuff for the kids to do. We need jobs.
Yeah.
If you get better jobs and better jobs, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
I think it'll slow down.
All right. But the main thing, Nina, is we need to make it a priority. This neighborhood has to be a priority. It can't just be, we can't just come in here when there's gun violence and then take off and forget it for months at a time.
At each storefront, business owners were eager to talk, and Bernal says that feedback is a good sign that people are anxious for change and, better yet, ready to get involved.
I just think it's just about building community at the end of the day. It's really what it is, and that's what I want to do here.
A big part of the mayor-elect's message is patience that things will change dramatically overnight. He's also talking about bringing the government to places like this plaza, having city council come over, talk to people, hear ideas, and all of this going to start pretty soon. Inauguration here not far away in Antioch, scheduled for December 10th.
We also got word of another shooting in Antioch that forced the lockdown of a nearby elementary school. Police say someone in a car shot at another vehicle on East 18th Street just before noon yesterday. Rocket Ship Delta Prep School was placed on lockdown as a precaution. Still ahead on CBS News Bay Area, a car dealership in the East Bay has been the target of repeated break-ins. What they're asking the police to do to put the brakes on this troubling trend. And self-defense or murder, that is the central question in the Bobley murder trial. We're going to hear from a doctor on what he thinks happened. And easing the suffering of terminally ill patients through music. We'll introduce you to a medical student who hopes to make the tough experience just a little bit easier.
When you put that positivity out there, it does multiply.
When it gets tougher, you get stronger.
Oh, thank you so much.
Cloudy and a little wet. You'll definitely want the umbrella as we head into the next couple of days. Widespread throughout the Bay Area with more rain systems coming in from the north. So the impressive numbers are going to be more up into the North Bay. Areas like Santa Rosa will see heavier rain showers compared to our friends down into the Santa Clara Valley. But we're all still holding on tight to the 60s as we wrap up this week and head into our weekend forecast. Even if you live in our inland areas too. Nice and cool conditions heading into this weekend. We dry up just in time for Friday and Saturday to see more showers heading into Sunday.
Well, a thief caught in the act of breaking into one of the cars at an East Bay dealership. The owner of the business says it's the second crime caught on camera, and he's fed up. The latest break-in happened at EKE Motorsports on San Pablo Avenue, right on the border between Richmond and El Cerrito. The owner told our Katie Nielsen if this continues, he will no longer be able to stay in business.
This is a surveillance video from EKE Motorsports late Friday night into Saturday morning. A man with a laptop is able to do some kind of programming to open the door of one of the used cars on the lot. And when the would-be thief wasn't able to start it, he smashes the window of the dealership with a pipe, heading inside to presumably find the keys.
There's no consequences, right? If they get arrested, what's going to happen? Slap their hand, they let them go.
This isn't the first time something like this has happened at EKE. The owner, Danny Sun, says in 2021, an employee was carjacked by a man who originally said he wanted to test drive the car. The employee getting thrown up on the hood, almost getting crushed under the tires when he fell off the side.
Either the thief, the bad guy will get hurt, or we get hurt, yes. Because this is getting crazier and crazier.
Danny blames the crime issues on a lack of responsiveness from the Richmond Police Department since his shop is technically in their jurisdiction. He says if something doesn't change soon, he's going to have to move to a different location.
I'm totally frustrated. You kidding me? Again? Again? This happened, I actually wanted to move. I wanted to move to a different location. This is like the straw that broke the camel's back.
Well, Richmond police say officers responded to an alarm on Friday at the car dealership. They found a broken window, but no one to confirm a break-in or report any missing items. The police department also responded to the owner's concerns that they are too understaffed to respond to crime. They said although they have a shortage of officers, they estimated minimal staffing levels to have 9 officers on duty to ensure the safety needs of the community are met. Well, former Alameda County Sheriff's deputy has been sentenced to 50 years in prison for the 2020 murder of a Dublin couple. 26-year-old Devin Williams was found guilty of killing Maria and Benison Tran at their home. Williams was a sheriff's deputy at the time of the murder. Authorities say he left work to go to the Trans home and shot both of them with a service gun. Evidence suggests that Williams and Maria Tran were romantically involved. We've entered the 5th week of the trial against the man accused of killing Cash App founder Bob Lee. On Tuesday, the defense called a doctor to the stand to explain how he thinks Lee was killed. Our Lauren Toms has been following this case for over a year and a half as the latest from the courtroom.
A panel of 17 jurors Tuesday heard testimony from a medical expert who tried to bolster the defense's theory that it is possible that Bob Lee brought the knife and sustained wounds in a struggle with Nima Momeni.
The stab pattern wounds don't match the story that the state is putting out.
The prosecution story is that it was Momeni who grabbed the knife from his sister's apartment and used it to intentionally stab Lee. A clear case, they say, of first-degree murder. Lee sustained 3 wounds, 1 to the hip and 2 to the chest. But the defense's own witness also testified that the prosecution's theory is possible, that Lee sustained those fatal wounds to the chest from a direct attack by Momeni.
Right now, we're just in the realm of kind of anything's possible. It was by no means a definitive statement by the defense expert in terms of how those wounds were inflicted.
Attorney Shannon Dugan sat through the proceedings and said the witness may have left jurors with more questions than answers. Answers that may only come from Momeni himself to explain just how Lee received those wounds.
Without any explanation by Nima Momeni, it seemed to be just, well, it's possible like any other theory could be.
And Lauren will continue to follow this trial from inside the courtroom. You can find the very latest on our website at KPIX.com and streaming on the free CBS News app. Now to San Mateo County, where a missing hiker has been found alive after spending a frigid night lost in the wilderness. The sheriff's office says the woman was missing for about 12 hours after leaving her group for a solo hike on Saturday. This was near Pescadero Creek in Loma Mar. A search team found the woman after calling out her name about 500 yards down a steep hill. Authorities say she was cold and exhausted, but was not injured. Still ahead, end-of-life medical care is never easy for patients or their families. How a Bay Area student may have found a powerful way to help them through her passion for music.
Throughout the afternoon hours today, we're left with some unsettled weather, some light scattered showers in the forecast. And let's time this out right now, because just around lunchtime, anywhere from Santa Rosa stretched down into the Marin Headlands, we will be dealing with light to moderate rain in the forecast and some breezy conditions too, but it's not going to be a complete washout by any means. We'll continue to keep a close eye on this as it moves its way down into the South Bay. Now closer to around 3-4 o'clock, light scattered showers off into the East Bay are expected. Along the coast, a very similar trend. Now on the back end of this, as many of us are wrapping up school and work today, around 6-7 o'clock tonight for dinner time, we do start to dry up. But then there's still some lingering offshore showers that will continue to sweep in from offshore into the early morning hours tomorrow. So keeping the umbrella handy is probably a good idea as we head into our Thursday forecast.
Well, end-of-life care can be extremely emotional and difficult time for everyone involved. That includes the patients and their loved ones. And in today's Health Watch, Elizabeth Cook introduces us to a medical student who is hoping to make that experience just a little bit easier.
Melanie Ambler is taking a break from the extremely rigorous Stanford Medical School program to study the impact of music on patients who are nearing the end of their lives. I was fortunate to be invited into a hospital room of a woman in palliative care to see firsthand this type of therapy at work. 46-year-old Tasha Tevis is in end-stage kidney failure. She keeps coloring books and pens nearby to help distract her from the chorus of machines helping to keep her alive.
It helps with my relaxation, my anxiety.
Her husband, David, is always by her side.
It hurts me because it's like, in the back of my mind, is this the last time I'm gonna see her alive?
Tasha has been in the ICU for weeks.
Hello.
But today, Stanford medical student Melanie Ambler is coming in to administer a different kind of care.
We're gonna do a quick sound check. I'm gonna hit record.
It all starts with a question.
I'm curious what art means to you.
And an answer.
Art to me is beauty. It's beauty and it's tranquil.
Then Melanie begins to play her cello. Tasha closes her eyes, and for a moment, she's not in the hospital anymore.
I like to tell patients that when I play music that is improvised and inspired by whatever they tell me, that it's my most active form of listening. That music wouldn't exist without their story.
After each session, Melanie takes her recordings home and edits the patient's story and her music together to create a new song.
Art to me is beauty. It's beauty and it's tranquil and it's not a hobby, it's a thing that everybody has in them, art.
To be a presence there and someone that can listen and maybe help them visualize something other than the hospital room that they're in, it's a privilege. Not many people have the opportunity to meet a stranger at a moment where they're experiencing something serious and something potentially traumatic and emotional.
But this is more than a kind act of service for these families. Melanie believes it's real medicine.
We're looking at whether this kind of intervention could improve patient stress, pain, and anxiety levels, as well as family stress and anxiety levels. All right, we're gonna clip this on.
Melanie is taking a year off Stanford Medical School to do a research project on how music can impact the well-being of a patient receiving palliative or end-of-life care. The inspiration for the project came when she was in her 3rd year of medical school and she started playing her cello while she was doing her rounds in the hospital.
When I added that to my conversations with these patients, the connection that I felt with them was so much deeper. And I feel that I also brought a lot more to the medical team, having more information about who they were and what inspired them. Let's hope you get out of here soon.
You know, I noticed when you went into the room and you started to play your instrument, you closed your eyes and you could really feel the music coming through you. Is it hard not to get emotional?
Yeah. But I get emotional. I don't avoid it. When I'm playing my instrument, my heart is just cracked open.
Melanie then studies how the experience impacts both the patients and their loved ones, both physically and emotionally.
I don't know the results yet because we're still in the midst of collecting the data, but I think I can anecdotally say that it improves most of those things.
David and Tasha were married 5 years ago. Since then, he's watched his wife's health deteriorate. But in the hospital room that day, he's reminded of the life they had together before she got sick.
And then when she started playing, I felt like a light breeze go right through my wife. Like, you know what I mean? The stress is gone.
So many things go through, so much happiness goes through my mind. It's like when you take a deep breath, it's just like everything washes away.
While most of the medical community is focused on preserving life, Melanie hopes her project will change the way doctors also look at death.
But I also feel really strongly that we should have more conversations surrounding death and dying and palliative care and what that actually means. And the fact that so many of these stories that patients are sharing have nothing to do with why they're in the hospital. It has to do with who they are as people.
Melanie hopes to interview 100 patients over this year-long musical rounds project. All of the patients receive an edited recording of their interview and musical soundtrack after their session. A subset of those interviews will then be included in a podcast or an album for the public to listen to.
And coming up in our next half hour in CBS News Bay Area, public schools in Oakland facing a $95 million budget shortfall. How the district plans to deal with the deficit. Plus, it's one of California's biggest reservoirs and it's about to get even bigger. A major expansion project and how it will benefit the Bay Area.
Coolest microclimate today is in the valleys of the North Bay, where the fog is still hanging on. This environment lets us take our viewers inside the weather. Microclimates, the fog, the rain, we can explain in 3 dimensions and show you what's going to happen. The offshore wind on our real-time map showing that east to west movement. The way everyone else is doing weather on television is like riding on horseback. This is space travel.
Virtual weather on KPIX. You've just got to see it.
I'm Ryan Yamamoto. This is The Minute. A federal court has ordered the Oakland airport to stop using San Francisco Bay in its name, at least for now. A judge issued a preliminary injunction blocking the name change until the legal process plays out. The Port of Oakland says it is weighing its options. The murder trial, the man accused of killing Cash App founder Bob Lee, continues today. Defendant Nima Momeni is expected to take the stand sometime this week. Prosecutors say Momeni killed Lee after Lee introduced his sister to an alleged drug dealer accused of sexually assaulting her. The defense claims Momeni stabbed Lee in self-defense. Well, tonight, the giant Christmas tree in San Francisco's Union Square will light up for the holidays. That tree right there is 83 feet tall and is decorated with tens of thousands of LED lights. Mayor London Breed will be on hand for tonight's ceremony. It all starts at 6 o'clock. I'm Ryan Yamamoto. This is The Minute.
Hold on tight to that umbrella. You'll definitely want it as we head into this afternoon. Daytime highs still are nice and cool for us today, but we have these spotty showers widespread throughout the Bay Area that we're gearing up for not only today, but tomorrow too. Lingering showers are going to last into our Thursday forecast. We dry up just in time for Friday and Saturday, and then we'll get another splash of showers heading into Sunday. I'll show you that in just a second. We have upper 60s in the forecast today down into the Santa Clara Valley. And for our friends down into the Santa Clara Valley, the rain's not going to be nearly as impressive as some of our friends up into the North Bay near wine country. The reason why I say that is because this rain system's coming in from the north, so more consistent showers are expected for us starting around lunchtime up throughout Santa Rosa, Napa, all the way over into the Marin Headlands too. By 3 o'clock, we start to see widespread scattered showers in the forecast down along our coast, off into the Santa Clara Valley, and we'll continue to watch that sweep to the south into the overnight hours tonight with lingering scattered showers into the forecast into early morning hours tomorrow. Now, the numbers aren't that impressive. When we take a look at what we can expect, it's close to around 1/4 of an inch all the way up into the North Bay if you average those numbers out. But down into the Santa Clara Valley, I mean, we're talking close to around 1/100 of an inch of rain, anywhere from the Santa Clara region all the way up along the peninsula, close to San Francisco too. So let's take a look at the next 7 days real fast, because we are drying up as we head into Friday and Saturday to kick off the weekend, just to see more showers on the back end heading into Sunday. By Monday and Tuesday of next week, we dry up once again. So really, this unsettled weather pattern for us is sticking around all week long. But one thing that is consistent, it's our temperatures. I mean, take a look at this. We're pretty much in the low 60s in our inland areas and along the coast all week long, heading into early next week too.
Well, the Oakland Unified School District is facing a budget crisis, but instead of closing campuses, today the board will look at a plan to merge 10 of its schools. Our Veronica Macias reports from Manzanita Community School, one of the campuses that would be impacted.
The Oakland Unified School District is looking to make some hard decisions here, and today they're going to be proposing this plan to merge schools and not to close them. But students aren't going to have to travel to another campus. This merger of 10 schools, condensing them down to 5, is possible at schools like this one, like Manzanita, only because they have sister schools like Manzanita Seed, located right next door. So why the proposal to merge? That's to cut costs by eliminating administrative staff. Administrators would not be laid off, but rather reassigned. And at some of these shared campuses, one school can have an over-enrollment while the other right next door can be understaffed. So merging them, they say, only makes sense.
There are no school closures coming. I fought very hard against school closures for a long time.
I honestly feel like how the schools are right now, like individually, but in the same campus, I feel like it's fine because I feel like it's well organized.
So Oakland Unified is only giving this proposal, and they won't be voting on it, the school board that is, until early December. But financial administrators with the Alameda Office of Education say this isn't the right decision to make. Instead, the board should be looking at how to cut costs and how funding is allocated to schools.
Well, this comes after the school closure had been halted in San Francisco following pushback and the firing of the superintendent. Dr. Maria Sue has replaced Matt Wayne. She says she's working to prevent school closures in the midst of a budget deficit. San Francisco Unified faces a $400 million shortfall by the 2026 through 27 school year. Well, the ski season's right around the corner and it's looking more like winter in the Sierra. Palisades Tahoe shared this video. They say they got 6 inches of fresh snow from a storm earlier this week. Beautiful shot there. Opening day for the resort, of course, is on November 27th. Big win that could give a boost to our water supply during rainy days in the future. An agreement has been reached to expand the San Luis Reservoir. The reservoir is one of the biggest in California, located just outside of the Bay Area in Merced County. Several water agencies are involved, but it will be water users in Santa Clara County who will benefit from this project the most. Our John Ramos shows us how.
The San Luis Reservoir is the 5th largest reservoir in California. It is completely man-made, and the idea that you could build it today is highly unlikely. But the fact that it already exists presents a tremendous opportunity for extra water storage for the southern Bay Area.
Just off Highway 152 between I-5 and the town of Gilroy, the San Luis Reservoir sits like some kind of giant inland sea.
But in 1962, it was just a dry valley surrounded by rolling hills. That's when a young, ambitious President Kennedy arrived to show what it takes to move a rapidly growing nation into the future.
We're going to have 300 million people in another 40 years in this country. A lot of them are going to live in California. In many ways, the growth problems and the conservation problems of California are the same kind of problems that our country faces. It is a pleasure for me to come out here and help blow up this valley and the cause of progress.
With that, he pushed a plunger in an explosive groundbreaking for the construction of the 382-foot dam that would create the San Luis Reservoir. That's how they did things back then, and ever since, the water supply that was created has benefited water users from the South Bay to the Central Valley. But Kennedy's predictions about population growth were right, and now the demand for water is once again a challenge for the state.
We need to be drought resilient. We need to adapt to climate change. We need to have water as these drier times move forward.
Aaron Baker, the chief operating officer for Santa Clara Valley Water, says they have entered into an agreement with 7 other agencies to pay nearly $1 billion to raise the level of the reservoir's dam 10 feet. That may not sound like much, but with the size of San Luis, it will equate to 130,000 acre feet, enough for about 260,000 households per year. Of that, nearly half, 60,000 acre feet, will go to Valley Water.
60,000 acre feet is quite a bit of water. I think you can, if we wanted to put it into Anderson Reservoir, or currently our local reservoir, is about 90,000 acre feet. This will be 2/3 of Anderson Reservoir.
And it's only happening because of what they did back in 1962.
This is an existing reservoir. All the plumbing is already there. Valley Water already receives deliveries from this reservoir, and many others receive deliveries from this reservoir. So there's the amount of infrastructure related to those types of things is it's really just a raise of a dam.
For that reason, the San Luis project has not faced the same roadblocks from environmental groups that others have. And with the dam currently undergoing seismic safety construction, the dam raising can be coordinated with that activity. But it won't be a quick fix.
It will take some time. Right now, we've got to make sure that we're working in conjunction with the existing Safety of Dams project. And so that construction is approximately estimated right now to be done around 2032.
The dam raising project, like the reservoir itself, is a forward-looking idea with an understanding that it is the vision of the past that people in the present rely on every day.
And because Santa Clara Valley Water will receive the bulk of the water storage, they will pay the largest cost, about $430 million. Well, up next, Clay Thompson returns to the Bay, how the Warriors paid tribute to a franchise legend.
It's an awesome feeling. It's gratifying. It touches my heart.
It's my first time, but I'm also kind of scared.
Yeah, buddy.
This is just a way to make the world a better place.
Cloudy and a little wet. You'll definitely want the umbrella as we head into the next couple of days, widespread throughout the Bay Area with more rain systems coming in from the north. So the impressive numbers are going to be more up into the North Bay. Areas like Santa Rosa will see heavier rain showers compared to our friends down into the Santa Clara Valley. But we're all still holding on tight to the 60s as we wrap up this week and head into our weekend forecast. Even if you live in our inland areas too, nice and cool conditions heading into this weekend. We dry up just in time for Friday and Saturday to see more showers heading into Sunday.
Klay Thompson's long-awaited return to Chase Center was supposed to be a rivalry, but instead it was all love as the Dub Nation gave him a warm welcome for his first game back at Chase Center since joining the Dallas Mavericks. After heartfelt hugs from former teammates and love from the fans, this was the employees giving him a warm welcome. Emotions completely turned competitive. Thompson nailed a corner three and finished with 22 points, matching his season high. This is him warming up here. He also did a shimmy in the second quarter, like Steph. Despite Thompson's stand-up performance, the Warriors rallied from a 7-point deficit led by Steph Curry, who finished with 37 points, including scoring the team's final 12 points. The Warriors spoiled Klay's return to San Francisco, winning 120-117.
It was a really cool experience. I appreciate the fans very much. The captain's hat ended up being a great touch. I saw a lot of familiar faces in the crowd. That was a warm-hearted feeling, so something I will never take for granted. So it was very awesome. I think we'll see the Dubs 3 more times, so there's plenty of more battles ahead, which is the fun part.
The Warriors are now 9-2 and are tied for the best in the West. Well, the 49ers take on the Seahawks this Sunday, and as Vern Glenn explains, they're looking for their 7th straight win against Seattle.
This is the Audi Red and Gold Report.
It is Seahawk week, and I know one player who can't wait to come out to practice tomorrow. Ricky Pearsall's role in the offense continues to expand each week. The team's first-round pick caught 4 passes for 73 yards at Tampa Bay and broke free for his first career touchdown.
Just seeing him run in that end zone, man, it's just a full circle moment. He deserves it all. He's bust his tail for this moment.
I get to the bench and I'm like, dang, like Kittle's a better teammate than me because I didn't grab his ball. So that's all I was thinking.
Probably just hang it up somewhere in the room. I probably should start a little memorabilia area in my room or something.
With the Red and Gold Report, I'm Vern Glenn.
In San Francisco, Oracle Park has been transformed into a thrilling 9-hole golf course. This is video of our very own Matt Lively checking out the course last year. You can see from the iconic stadium spots and aim for the greens on the field in a 360-degree golf adventure. Tee times are open through Sunday. Coming up, move over to DoorDash. There may be a faster way to get your food delivered. We're going to take you to give you a look at new technology right here in the Bay.
Throughout the afternoon hours today, we're left with some unsettled weather, some light scattered showers in the forecast. And let's time this out right now, because just around lunchtime, anywhere from Santa Rosa stretched down into the Marin Headlands, we will be dealing with light to moderate rain in the forecast and some breezy conditions too, but it's not going to be a complete washout by any means. We'll continue to keep a close eye on this as it moves its way down into the South Bay. Now, closer to around 3-4 o'clock, light scattered showers off into the East Bay are expected. Along the coast, a very similar trend. Now, on the back end of this, as many of us are wrapping up school and work today, around 6-7 o'clock tonight for dinner time, we do start to dry up. But then there's still some lingering offshore showers that will continue to sweep in from offshore into the early morning hours tomorrow. So keeping the umbrella handy is probably a good idea as we head into our Thursday forecast.
Well, you may be able to get your next food delivery a little faster than usual thanks to a new drone service in the Bay Area. Our Itai Ha takes a look at the pilot program set to deliver your next meal straight to your door in Silicon Valley.
In the heart of Silicon Valley, 64-year-old Brian Drummond is about to get a delivery that's truly on the up and up. A software engineer, he's ordering his breakfast using a company whose products are flying off the shelf. Quite literally. Drummond is part of a pilot program testing drone deliveries by a company called Matternet. As he orders a coffee and croissant at his home in Sunnyvale, the order is quickly assembled at the headquarters nearby. The package is then placed in a special hub where it's automatically attached to a drone. And then it's off. In less than 5 minutes, it shows up above his backyard like a scene straight out of an action movie. Andreas Raptopoulos is the founder and CEO of Matternet, which launched its service earlier this month. After a decade of development, drone deliveries are finally taking off. According to the Federal Aviation Administration, there are currently 377,000 drones registered for commercial use. That number is expected to soar into the millions by 2028. Yenfo Noyang is a transportation engineering professor at the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign and a drone delivery enthusiast. He says when it comes to this service, there are still some issues that are up in the air. As for Drummond, skipping the 45-minute wait is a game changer. Getting a taste of the future while taking breakfast to new heights.
Well, for now, the program is still in its pilot phase. The company hopes to have it up and running by next year. Well, a renowned Bay Area tenor is up for a Grammy Award, and he performed in front of a packed house at the San Francisco Conservatory of Music last night. Nicholas Pon is nominated for 2 Grammy Awards, Best Classical Vocal Solo and Best Opera Recording.
I was just coming back from a workout in the morning and my phone started to blow up with text messages saying, hey, they just nominated both of your albums.
The 2025 Grammy Awards will be broadcast right here on KPIX on February 2nd. Well, thanks for streaming CBS News Bay Area. I'm Ryan Yamamoto. We'll be right back with your first alert forecast and a look at your top stories.